She's known for writing songs that appeal to young women, but he doesn't care. He thinks she's got that something. His friend wants to understand him, what makes her so commanding. Once a week they get together and talk all about her hits. Shootin', shootin' the Swift. I'm talking about shootin', shootin' the Swift with you.
Salutations, Swifties and potential Swifties. Welcome to Shootin' the Swift, television's longest-running animated podcast, starring me, Mike Keller, and her, Kit Shields.
Hello.
Today we're going... Oh, hi, Kit. Today we're going to be discussing Taylor's fourth amazing album, 2012's Red. But today's episode is a very special episode, Kit. Can you tell us why?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you why, and then
Okay.
just get your reaction to it. Today, we have a third member of the podcast. He's hosting with us. Actually, let's see if you can guess who it is. Should we do that?
Okay.
Okay, I'll give you clues, and then based on those, you'll try and guess who he is. Okay. He has kind of like dark brown hair, almost black.
Jack White.
No, close, pretty close. He's in a band,
Well, that sounds even more like it's going to be Jack White.
right? Okay. Well, let's see.
Mick Jagger.
Very close. You've been married to him for I think about 2 years now.
So it is Jack White.
It's Jack White. Yeah.
Yay!
Hooray! Today's
Say
special
hi, Jack.
Wait,
Say
we don't
hi,
need to-
Jack.
I don't think Jack White is here.
Oh.
Anyways, today's special guest is Lee, Kit's husband,
Yay.
and also cool guy. He's both. He's more than just a husband.
Exactly.
So Lee, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm here because I've loved Taylor Swift for about 3 months,
Uh-huh.
and we're talking about her favorite album today.
Her favorite album?
Well, it's probably her favorite album until this one, until 1989 comes
Did you
out.
mean your favorite
But
album?
it is my favorite album as well. We share that in common.
We're off to a great start.
Wait, it's your favorite album ever?
No, just of Taylor Swift's album.
Oh, okay, I see.
How many have you listened to track by track?
I've listened to a good 80% of the other albums. I listened to the whole debut, and then Speak Now and Fearless I heard most of it.
So what did? Tell us a little bit about your history with Taylor Swift.
I don't know why I started listening to this one. I write a record review every month for my band's newsletter, and this seemed like a good one to pick up because I knew that I liked the We're Never Getting Back Together song a whole lot. And so I just kind of wanted to see what else was going on with Taylor Swift in 2012. So I picked up Red, and it was love at first sight.
You picked it up?
I downloaded it illegally.
Okay.
What?
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I did not purchase it.
I went down to my local record store and picked it up, carried it home in a plastic bag, put it on the old turntable, and...
Downloaded the deluxe edition, and those extra tracks went straight to the trash. Just wanted the original.
Why?
Yeah, I do that too. Even if even if it's like a classic, I'm sure they're good. Like if it's a good band.
Why do
Sometimes
that, though, Mike?
Just because you want like the album as it originally existed, you don't want like
Deluxe edition, extra bonus tracks or something, and then have those on, but not on the album?
I also like
What's
the aesthetic, just the view of the 16 tracks in my iTunes playlist.
Right, but
No others cluttering it up.
what I'm saying is if you called the album for those extra tracks Red Deluxe Edition bonus tracks, then when you look at the album, it would just be those. No? Alright, whatever. You guys are weird.
I don't do iTunes. I just have it in folders on my computer. Well, I'm just saying that I would have to, like, I guess I could just create a new folder.
Why don't you
Anyway.
do iTunes?
It doesn't. I like.
Is it because they give you U2 albums you don't want?
Yeah. No, I don't know. I just haven't ever used it. It's a really big program. It updates like every week, and it's easier for me to just have folders like on my computer, and I open it up and play it.
So I take it you don't have a lot of big programs on your computer.
I mean, not really. All I run is like Firefox and Windows Media Player, pretty much.
This is fascinating.
Yeah. Okay, we'll cut that.
Why don't you tell us the programs you have on your computer?
Well,
and their sizes.
I'm very interested in this.
Let me open up my task manager here.
All right, let's see.
No, we won't do that. Okay. Let's get back
what
to
What percentage of your CPU is Firefox using?
I don't know. I mean, the main problem with it being big is that it updates every couple weeks, and so you have to sit there and like download it and wait for it to install, and then you have to read through that whole agreement every time.
And you got masturbating to do, goddammit!
Yeah, no kidding. I'm a busy guy. No, I've actually never masturbated. Okay, so back to the main focus here. So Lee, he's actually a professional musician, so he's like a music expert. He's in a band called Mooner, and they're awesome. They're up in Chicago there.
Moonerband.com!
Moonerband.com. So I guess, it's going to be fun to have him here just because he's a cool dude, but in addition, he's like an actual official musical expert. Yes. So we're going to have that much more expertise into this podcast, complementing Kit and my own expertises, or Kit and my expertise, whatever. So we're going to just go ahead and jump into the album. I think that'd be the best thing to do here.
Okay.
Cool. So what we're, I guess Kit and Lee, I'm going to just direct questions to both of you, and then you can divide them up however you'd care to. Won't ask specifically. But what were your guys' overall thoughts on the album?
It is so long. I could not believe it when I was on like track 8 and there were still 8 tracks to go.
Right.
It's amazing.
It's shorter than Speak Now by like 2 minutes. So.
Really? Well, there's one thing that I wanted to do, if we have time and if anybody else thinks it's a good idea, maybe at the end of the episode, if we could each talk about which 4 songs we would cut from this album, or like turn into bonus tracks.
That seems kind of blasphemous.
Oh my god! All right, fine.
No, we could do that.
Okay.
So you thought it was long.
It's incredibly long and incredibly bifurcated to me.
Bifurcated. Okay. Bifurcated, just in that it kind of doesn't have one consistent sound.
Yes. Like,
okay.
I was really surprised. I expected, based on it, because the singles that there's a lot, I mean, I had heard not very much of this album. The songs I had heard were like Trouble and We're Never Getting Back Together, and that was kind of it. And based on those, I guess I'd heard 22 because Lee played it for me recently. But I guess based on that, I thought it would be really, really different from Speak Now and Fearless. Like those songs are a huge departure from Speak Now and Fearless. But when I was listening to it, it's like at least 50% of the songs sound very much like a natural progression from Speak Now. And very classic Taylor Swift. And then there are the songs on there that are like, have a dubstep drop in them. So that to me sounded, and to me that was part of why like the album was so long maybe. It's like, I gotta hedge my bets and make sure that I'm making everyone happy, and if this like pop thing doesn't work out, I have some hits that I can give to country and that kind of stuff. But overall, it felt like, because she kind of earned the right to put out a ridiculously bloated album by having every song on her album be hits, but that to me that doesn't make for an overall. It was a strange album to me.
Yeah, I think it's really odd. It's a very like career-y album in that it doesn't have a super consistent voice, and I think Kit's totally right about hedging her bets, where there's some sort of new Taylor Swifty hits in there, but then branching out into the pop stuff. and she just it just sounds like she was in transition and wanted to throw it all on one album and just kind of see what hits. And I think we've learned from 1989's first hit, "Shake It Off," that you can kind of see like what album she went with out of Red.
Well, and the lead single, as far as I know, the lead singles off of Red were "Never Getting Back Together" and "Trouble" were like the first two I thought.
Yeah,
and those are both definitely from the pop side of the album.
Right.
Not that it's not all pop; it's all pop, but the like, I don't know, more electronic.
And we later got "Everything Has Changed" as a single. There were a couple other like "Begin Again" was a single. Some of those ballads did make it through as singles that were like a little more classic Taylor Swift, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, they were clearly leading off with the
like, let's see how everybody likes this.
Right.
Yeah.
How does this sound? However, so saying that, I did overall like this album a whole lot.
Okay.
I've just never really heard like an album like it. It's just made in strange circumstances, or very unique circumstances to her, where you're not going to get, where you're just hearing all these different elements of her career coming together at once, and it's interesting. Yeah, it makes for an interesting and overlong album.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that's probably, I would agree with that. Kind of what you and Kate are saying, just about how she wanted to do something new, but she didn't want to go all the way just in case it didn't work. I don't think she was ready either. I think it was genuinely, I think she did what she wanted with this album. Right.
It also feels a little bit like there was somebody on her team that's like, no, we need to put all 16 of these on this thing so that we can get as many different audiences as we can.
Right.
This will be good for you. And I'm not saying she didn't have this idea herself. Maybe it was totally her idea, but it felt like this was like a little bit of a plan of attack kind of was.
Well, and when we get into like the track breakdown, I'll talk about this, but like because of that, there are moments on this album that are like where it goes from one song to the next, and I'm like, what the fuck do these two? Why would these two songs be on the same album together? Like, even if they're not both, even if it's not like one's horrible and one's great, even though that's usually how I feel. like wow, why is that horrible song on this album with this song that I feel like is really great?
But when I was listening to it as a listener, just going through the album all the way through, I preferred that kind of listening experience to Speak Now or Fearless, even, where I kind of felt like I got like the idea, I got the picture by like the sixth song, and I don't know, I just didn't want to hear the rest.
Right.
So this one kept my interest.
Yeah, and I guess there's something to be said for mixing it up if you put an album out that's like 80 minutes. Because if it was kind of the same sound for 75 minutes or whatever it is, like you're saying, that could kind of wear some people out.
But we also have we have 6 songs or so on here that are about the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Which if it's a concept album, fine, but clearly 3 are better than the other 3. It's not like they're all so great they need to be on the album.
But I don't know. I thought the kind of crazy track listing and the different sounds, and it just seemed to be where her head was at the time, based on these lyrics.
Her head was at a shitty album?
Her head was in a shitty album. I think her head was at a very, not really confused, but just like excited and sort of like, she's basically at her most powerful.
Yeah, see, that's what it feels like to me. To me, it feels like
powerful being.
I can put out a 16 song album, so I shall.
It seems very appropriate. It has varied results, but it seems like that's genuinely where she was at.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it is. It's kind of a sad album, like most of the lyrics. There's a couple of happy songs on it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, overall, it's pretty melancholy.
It sure is.
But I do think that lyrically, even though there's repetition between the songs, in terms of like what she's singing about, like I think the lyrics in this are the strongest that she's been. And then it's definitely like the most accomplished, like musically.
I agree with that.
That's kind of those are my 3 notes of like my thoughts. Where it's sad, but the lyrics are really great. And
I think it definitely has like the best songs of her career so far on it, but they're mired in some of the worst songs of her career. So like I said, if you got rid of 4 or 5 songs, it'd be one hell of an album. It'd be great. Okay.
Let's jump into the track by track thing then.
Truck by truck.
Truck by truck.
My phrase that I
Speaking of trucks, not a single truck on this album, Kit.
I know. There's a real dearth of Taylor tropes. I pointed out like one.
Yeah, there's no kissing in the rain, no trucks.
Oh, can I point out that I did identify, so when you guys were talking about Taylor tropes, I realized how she moved from, this is like her grand move from the truck to the private jet. There are like 2 or 3 lyrics in here that take place in a jet. She's flying in somebody's jet, or somebody's fancy car.
Or fancy
apartment, or she's left the truck behind. So there's still a lot of, we're going to make out in a vehicle, but the vehicles are far more expensive.
But okay, so track 1, State of Grace. Let's see, I guess, one of you guys lead us off.
Okay, so I guess I could just go through my notes. That's the only way I know to do it, I guess. So I said that this seems to be a good album opener. You know, it has that, like, percolating kind of build that is...
Also opens her live show.
Okay.
The Red Tour.
So that's kind of exciting. I think her voice sounded really canned on this to me. Like, at least much more than the previous album. This sounded like a more kind of fucked with vocal. I'm okay with it. It's not setting me on fire. I said that auto-tune Taylor sounds kind of like Bjork a little bit, which isn't a bad thing.
Really?
Yeah. Well, yeah. It sounds very 80s to me, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but it sounds like something about this song sounded kind of like an 80s song to me. And I don't dislike this song, so if this is what she means by 80s for like the next album, then that might be okay. I wonder, she says fall and ball like full and bowl, I guess, so they rhyme with go. That stood out to me. This also seems like maybe it's supposed to be a Florence and the Machine kind of thing. I said, I don't know, it's just okay. I definitely don't hate it. I do think it's a good opening. And it's also, I think, since her last song was Long Live, this is like an interesting, like, bridge song from Long Live, I think. And I like the bridge. The song is structured like a classic Taylor song, but the sound is very different. And I think I come down on the side of thinking it's good. I love the backing vocals, like that weird sound. And that also reminds me of like the Bjork acapella album. Like, sorry. Play it good and right is a lame lyric.
Oh,
all right. There, that's it.
Okay. You want to go ahead? Or Lee, did you do track-by-track notes? Or?
I did.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I agree with Kit on those points. I also thought this was definitely her chance to like show off her vocals like in a way that she didn't really, like. This song doesn't have a ton of content to me. The lyrics are the lyrics are good, but it's not like a very like full meal of a song. But her vocals are clearly like front and center, and then she hits that big note about 3/4 of the way through.
I don't think her.
That's possibly not Taylor Swift.
Well, I mean, it
certainly sounds like her. Oh, right. It's probably like 3 or 4 of her put together, but still, this is like for her to come out on stage and blow everybody away. This is like kind of like a functional song.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Rather than like a very deep song.
Yeah, well, there's definitely not really like a story to it, like there has been with a lot of our other songs in terms of content. But I think that like there's so many little mentions of like kind of like classical, imagery in it that I think it sort of, like transitions from like Speak Now, like right off of Long Live, it like transitions into like, okay, this is what we're doing now, like, and you know. So it opens up, like, the imagery is kind of like a city. Like, you know, we're sort of used to like her having more of like an enchanted like fairy tale kind of atmosphere around her and her
Or
lyrics
being in a
and stuff.
small town.
Right, or small town, exactly. But then there's a mention of armor falling. But then after that, the imagery is like there's like saints, or like state of grace, evokes like in Christianity. But yeah, so then there's like she mentions like a golden age, Achilles' heel, and then like twin fire signs, like they're what is it? Astrological symbols, I guess. Yeah, like it just brings in all this like kind of like I don't want to say like ancient, but just kind of like like classical references and stuff like that. But there isn't really much of a story to the song. But then I think it leads into the album like thematically really well. Like
Oh yeah, because it's like basically it's like, hey, here's the first song is like the good part before like 9 songs about how love stinks, kind of.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that, because a lot of it is about her like disillusionment, and this is like here's the nice period before it all falls apart.
Right. But yeah, and I think having some of that like the city stuff in there, kind of, even though there's all this kind of eternal stuff being evoked, like having it, it just kind of brings it down to like reality. Like it brings love down to reality and like that kind of stuff. But yeah, and then the next, what like 9 songs are sad.
Yeah.
The one last thing I wanted to say about the song was I really like the lyric. We learn to live with the pain, mosaic broken hearts. I thought that was, I hadn't really noticed that until I took a look at the lyrics, and I thought that was really cool. But
I do think the lyrics are nice in this song.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like the sound of it a lot. Like it's weird. Like even looking at the lyrics, like Lee had said, like there wasn't like it felt it didn't feel like a full meal of a song, I guess is what you said. But
I don't love it, but I think it's like good, which is how I feel about like all her album openers. I think.
Yeah.
Like Fearless is the one that's grown on me the most, but like they're all just kind of like, hey, here's an amuse-bouche, for
Here's
the
a what?
album. An amuse-bouche.
I don't know what that is either.
Okay.
Move boosh. Anyway, what? Were you going to explain that, or?
No, I like it better. You guys not knowing what it means.
Okay, track 2, Red. This one, oh yeah, and State of Grace was by Taylor Swift only. Red is also Taylor Swift solo. So, if we're doing the writing credits.
Okay.
So.
Can I start again?
Oh yeah.
I just wondered. Sometimes you have a preamble.
Oh no, I
Or
don't.
something you want to say first. Okay, because I went. So my first thought was, fucking banjo beat is back.
Oh yeah.
My second thought was that this sounds pretty much like her previous stuff, like maybe slicker, but not as much of a departure from Speak Now as I thought it would be. My third thought was, is this the worst opening line I've ever heard? It sure is up there with Your Butt Is Mine and Do You Ever Feel Like a Plastic Bag? And
wait, what is Your Butt Is Mine from?
Bad by Michael Jackson. Your butt is mine.
Oh yeah, okay.
And even if you like analyze it deeper, it's a bad metaphor to me because it basically breaks down to his love is like a dead end in that it ends. Like it's just that's like.
No, but a Maserati is a famously fast and powerful car. Hello?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, well, that's. I mean, I think that would dress up the analogy a little bit better. Like it's not just like, love ends. It's like something extreme. It's like taking an extremely powerful car.
But what the? That doesn't make a lot of sense because it's like what's the consequence of driving a new Maserati in a dead end street? You just have to turn around. Like is that what it is?
You can't get going. It's like you.
But you could just turn around and go down the other street.
Well,
you're still in the Maserati.
Oh, okay. This is really stupid.
That's true. No, I mean
we're glossing over how fucking ridiculous that line sounds.
Yeah.
Loving him is like driving a new Maserati down a dead end street.
Just coming out of your mouth, it sounds awful.
It's the worst. It's honestly, right now I hate that more than Do You Ever Feel Like a Plastic Bag.
Don't you ever feel like a plastic bag?
What is that
It's
from?
pretty close.
That's from Firework by Katy Perry.
I feel like a plastic bag. Maybe that's a reference to.
Like a plastic bag.
Maybe that's a reference to American Beauty.
See, I was thinking maybe it's a reference to
I thought
that
that's what
Werner
it was.
Herzog movie.
Oh wow.
Which Werner Herzog movie?
The What About the Plastic Bag?
I haven't seen that
He
one.
may just narrate it. Oh my god, you
It's
haven't
like a
seen
short
that?
short movie
It's
about
a short
environmental-
film that follows this plastic bag, and the voice of the plastic bag is Werner Herzog. And it's
I didn't see it. Oh.
it'll make you cry, but it's also hilarious.
Weird.
But yeah, terrible way to start that song.
I
Okay.
mean, really made it so. I mean, the song cannot come back from that.
Because it doesn't really get any better.
The lyrics
throughout the lyrics
are pretty shitty throughout,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't think it's a bad sounding song.
What about?
I like when he says like the colors in autumn so bright just before they lose it all. Like that's good.
Yeah, that's a good line.
Yeah,
but-
that is a good line.
And I like the concept of like all the colors, even though she like pretty much abandons that. I think she mentions like 2 colors, and then
Blue and
but I
red.
like the idea of like no blue and dark gray and red. But it's like I would rather see that theme carry out a little bit more.
That
But
could get-
I like. Well, yeah.
That could get a little.
But it's like
tedious
the
if you walk
third
up-
example doesn't even have to do with a color.
Right. I
Losing
think
him
though.
was like blue, missing him was like dark gray, forgetting him was not like a color at all, but loving him was red. But I like the but loving him was red. Although the thing going ruh, 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 ruh in the background is
Yeah.
really fucking creepy and weird.
You know, okay. Let me. One thing. A lot of the stuff you're like Maserati, and then that whatever that backing vocal thing is. I felt like the same way when I first listened to this. Like this wasn't like I put it in and I was just like instantly in love.
Mhm.
Um,
But now
Yeah,
you've
like-
been successfully brainwashed.
well, basically. No, it's, like, I've listened to this album. I mean, I honest to God listened to this album like nonstop for about a year. So it's like none of that bothers me anymore because I'm just used to it. But yeah, I remember exactly what you're talking about. Like just kind of.
Good, I'm glad you remember. So it's kind
Right.
of like
So I haven't been
if someone tortures you, eventually it doesn't hurt anymore. Eventually you're just numb to the pain.
But there was a reason I didn't. There was a reason I listened to it for a full year. Like it wasn't just that. Like okay, I've got to
Yeah,
like.
but Mike, I don't want to have sex with her.
I don't want to have sex with her either. I would say if she came up to me right now and said, "Hey, let's have sex," I would say, "No, thank you, ma'am."
Would you kiss her?
Would you slip her the tongue?
No, I mean this song is not bad. It's really not. And again, it sounds very 80s, like especially the guitar sound.
Mhm.
I think it's good, and this is what you want from Taylor Swift, where it's like the weird combo of pop and superficial country, and like heartfelt, borderline stupid lyrics. I don't like the song, but I think it's classic Swift. I hate the hardcore breakdown, but I did get like pumped when the beat kicks back in after that horrible breakdown. It is really exciting. That really spinny beat is awesome, and especially if it's the drummer that she always uses, who I'm in love with because of that video.
Yeah.
It sounds. I mean, that sounds really good. And I love how the song ends with that same
Oh, jeez.
horrendous line. The worst line she's ever written.
Nothing but
So bad, you gotta repeat it.
and nothing but her saying it. No music,
Yeah,
just her loud
like,
and
hey.
clear.
fans out there, focus on this. This shit is deep.
Right.
Maseratis. You guys know Maseratis. You guys relate to Maseratis, right?
That's the thing that bugged me about it. It wasn't necessarily that I thought the line was clunky, but the first time I heard it, I was like bothered that she had moved on to this like level of super rich. But I guess that's the Marxist in me. So.
But then I also don't think that. I actually don't think this is a reference to how rich she is. I think it's just like.
But like like a casual reference to a Maserati, like everybody knows what that is.
I guess. I just think she thinks it's a cool word. Whatever.
I think
It's
it's
fucking
more that.
stupid.
Let's-
This is
let's-
next to clunky in the dictionary, is that
let's
line.
just move on.
hate
Well,
it.
actually, I was going to ask though. Like that. This isn't even really related to the song. Okay, are these similes or metaphors?
It's similes, which is something that kind of bugged me about the song a little bit.
Okay.
Is that it's I think that adds to, like, I like the chorus fine. I wish it was a third color instead of no color in there. But when it's repeated like that, a lot of the repeated similes do end up kind of making it sound like a poem that you write in, like, 8th grade.
Right. I thought there were some interesting... Okay, yeah. I guess I could... When I was thinking about how I would talk about it, I was trying to remember back to English class, like, what a metaphor is, what a simile is, and all that. But
a simile uses like or as. A metaphor doesn't.
Okay. Okay, but yeah. So I guess, like, a lot of these similes don't do much for me, but there were several, like you were saying, the leaves in autumn. Mm-hmm. And there's one that's like memorizing him was as easy as knowing all the words to your old favorite song. Mm-hmm. Like it just kind of like, I don't know, you get the exact feeling she's going for, and
you know what cool. Line I don't understand, Michael?
What?
Forgetting him was like trying to know somebody you've never met. I
like
understand that. I tried really hard to figure out what the fuck that means. I don't get it.
Right. I kind of like that because it's like, okay, what is it? Let me try to find it. Okay, forgetting him. Yeah. So like trying to know someone you've never met. So like think of like a celebrity, mm-hmm. and you try to know them, like just kind of like through all these channels. Uh-huh. So like that's basically how we know Taylor. I thought that was kind of. I wondered if that was like.
But how's that like forgetting him?
Because she can't forget him. She can't quite forget him, just like you can't quite know somebody you've never met. So it's like
maybe
you can try it and you can like almost get there, but you can't. So I don't know. I thought that was an interesting one.
Fighting with him was like trying to solve a crossword and realizing there's no right answer.
That was actually my least favorite line.
More than the Maserati?
That one I hated more than the Maserati because she crammed all that together and then it's it's just not a great.
I know. There's a lot of clunky shit in this one.
Okay, moving on to track 3.
But it's okay. I think it's a good song in spite of the shit lyrics.
Yeah, when I watched the live video, I was like, yeah, I was right there with her.
Spoiling this live video that I gotta watch for next week.
Oh, okay.
There's actually, unfortunately, there is no Red Tour live official DVD, but there's a lot online.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, anyways, track 3, Treacherous. I don't have a lot to say on this one.
Yeah, this was the Supersonic guy, right?
Dan Wilson?
Is that who he is?
I don't know.
The guy who wrote Closing Time?
Real? I thought he was on her last album.
Let's see. I think it was somebody like him, some 90s
Supersonic.
guy.
That's what they're called?
That's the name of the band, yeah.
Do you want me to Google it?
I'm Googling it.
On his phone, it'll take 1,000 years.
I'm gonna beat you to it. Yep, Semisonic is not...
I knew it wasn't Supersonic!
No, it's Supersonic. This is the other guy. No, Semisonic. This guy wrote Someone Like You as well. Wow, for Adele.
Really? The guy who wrote Closing Time wrote that song?
I mean, Closing Time's a great
song. I agree,
so.
But it's weird. He had a lot of downtime.
Yeah. But yes, anyway, sorry. This was co-written with this guy.
Okay. Interesting.
I want to go last. You guys tell me any thoughts you do have about this song.
I didn't have a lot either.
Well, I had, let's see. This is one of many songs that's kind of about a relationship where, you know, to kind of quote from the song, like, she'd be smart to walk away, but she doesn't because she likes it. So there's several like that on here. I guess there's one line, I'll do anything you say if you say it with your hands, which I think is one of her more kind of plainly sexual lyrics. And my third note was, all we are is skin and bone, trying to get along, forever going with the flow, but you're friction. And I think that's like a really, like, all we are is skin and bone, trying to get along is a very kind of disenchanted view of things. But then I guess this kind of potential love appears and it's like friction. It kind of like stops that. I thought that was interesting, but it still is like, it's weird to hear Taylor Swift say, all we are is skin and bone, trying to get along.
I think it's weird to hear her say friction.
Friction, yeah. Mm-hmm. So those are my notes.
Do you like this song, Mike?
Yeah, I do.
But you don't love it? It's not like one of your favorites on the album?
I think it's a really good song. I mean, it's like, I I wouldn't like put this. This one is good like with the album. I wouldn't put this one on. Maybe just like on a mix or as a single or something. But I like the song.
On our mythical 10-song version of this, I would leave it on there. I think it's one of her better ballads from this record. I like the line "Nothing safe is worth the drive." It's kind of cool. I wish it didn't explode into a full band. I kind of wish it had stayed.
I said that too. I was like, my notes were like, please don't kick in, please stay quiet. But then when it did kick in, I still liked it. And it still stays mellow. It's just like much sexier before the whole band comes in.
Yeah. A little more intimate.
Yeah.
But
well, it sounds like I like this song better than either of you guys.
You liked it a lot?
On my iPod.
Oh.
Did you really?
Wow. Yes, I think it's a great song.
Yeah, it's very good.
I love the line, "Put your quicksand." And again, yeah, I wish it didn't kick in, but when it kicked in, I still liked it. It's beautiful, good. I really like the lyrics. Sexy, really good vocal performance.
Yeah.
And it sounds like, to me, this sounds more true to her style. This sounds pretty similar to Speak Now. Even by the third song, I'm like, okay, this isn't that different from Speak Now. It sounds like an evolution away, especially in like themes and her state of mind. But sound-wise, It's not that different so far.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I really liked it.
Awesome. Yeah, good. Yeah, I like it. I like it as well. It's, I don't know did I say something that made it sound like I didn't? Or?
Well, no, it sounds like you two are like kind of like, yeah, it's good.
Okay, I was kind of hedging.
Whereas I'm like, I love it.
I thought you were gonna jump into it. So.
No, it's great. I don't know what you could not like about this song.
Right. Yeah. No, you're right. Her voice sounds amazing on it.
Her voice sounds amazing, and they're great lyrics.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, there weren't a lot of lines that were just like really struck me. But yeah, if you look at it as a whole, it is like there's nothing on it that's just kind of like, what were you thinking?
And I think it is really it is a really sexy song, but in like the most
take notes, Lee.
Tasteful. She does like so little that makes it, and maybe it's partly because of how unsexy almost all of her other music is, that she just has to do a little bit to make. But like, I think this is great.
Cool. Awesome. Another song makes the iPod.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Moving on to track 4.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I Knew You Were Trouble by Taylor Swift, Max Martin, and Shellback. So I guess I'll start with this one. I remember when this came out, I think this was the second single. And like the bass drop was like huge news. Like people were like flipping out that Taylor Swift they were like, oh, she's gone dubstep. The new album's going to be all dubstep. And, listening to it, it doesn't strike me as like that. I don't know. I feel like it fits pretty well. Maybe not with the whole album or something, but yeah, I didn't think it was that weird. But then in terms of the actual song, it's like right after Treacherous, this is another song about like a love that she knows she shouldn't be pursuing. And I don't think the lyrics overall are that great, but I think the song is really good and it's extremely catchy. So that's what I got.
I really, really, really wish this goddamn awful song did not follow Treacherous.
Really?
I can't. I hate this song so fucking much. It is so bad, so artificial, such a trend grab, and I think it's such a shame because I really hate it. I feel like it has nothing to do with anything other than lyrical content. It has nothing to do with anything on the album so far. It feels like straight up like Katy Perry kind of like, reminds me of that really, really fucking stupid Katy Perry song E.T., except E.T. is better. And like, I can live with the verse. Like, I don't love the verse, but to me the verse sounds like kind of like Should Have Said No, or Picture to Burn, or just like kind of something that's like an upbeat, snotty kind of like, fuck you, man, kind of song, like she's done in the past and tends to have on each album, has something like that. But then when it drops into that completely disconnected chorus, it's just like appalling to me. And It sounds dated before it even comes out. Like, it sounds out like a fucking zit on the ass of this album to me. And I'm not even paying attention to lyrics, and I suspect that may be a good thing. I fucking hate this song with a fiery passion. It is the most, like, tasteless piece of garbage I've ever heard.
No, it's not.
I hate it so much.
You've listened to Yeezus in its entirety. I know that this is not the worst thing you've ever heard. Okay, but Lee, what did you think?
This is absolutely on a short list of the worst songs I've ever heard. I mean, this is truly unlistenable.
We did not collaborate on these notes. I did not know what he was going to say in the song. I suspected he would hate it, but...
It just doesn't work. I mean, I feel like they know it. I feel like they just released it anyway, and they're like, well, whatever.
This is popular?
Yeah. But just, whatever, we'll just put it out, I guess. It just doesn't... It feels like... I don't know. It feels like they labored over it for months and months. Maybe this isn't how it was, but it feels like very constructed. Just kind of how Max Martin is, and that can work really well when he's just got a good song to work with. But he doesn't have a great song.
Or a happy song, maybe? Maybe it needs to be a happy song?
Because I think he does this kind of stuff good, like when he does like Womanizer and other like diva hits.
I wish this was like Womanizer. I mean, that would still be stupid.
I think that was the edge he was trying to bring to it, and it just.
But Womanizer is goofy. I think this song would be at least slightly better if it wasn't so damn serious.
Yeah.
If it realized, like, yes, Taylor Swift is doing a dubstep song, and made it, like, maybe they should have just put those goat sounds in there.
Yeah,
or the paper towel dispenser sound. I don't know. Something, like Womanizer you don't listen to and go, like, this is, like, serious shit. Like, no, it's supposed to be goofy and fun, and this is not fun. It's just bad.
Okay. Well, let's say it was an experiment, and that
I poop on this song.
For you guys, it was not an experiment that was successful.
But for Mike, 5 stars.
I mean, I would give it all. There's not enough stars in the world. But like this song, actually, if we're making our ideal cut, I would cut this song because I prefer.
Thank God. All right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I don't think it's a bad song at all, but I don't necessarily like this sound.
So
and
he does hate it. He's just been programmed not to say that.
No. But yeah, no. I think one of the best observations in all of that, although you both did great, was that having this song come after Treacherous is really kind of jarring.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, it's fun. Like I don't know. It's like I'm trying to think. Okay, so Taylor Swift before this was not something you would hear in like a club, and I think it's cool when she does a song like this, like "Shake It Off" or "We're Never Ever Getting Back Together" or "22." Like it bugged me at first, but now I think it's cool because it brings in more people to, it brings in more Swifties. You know what I mean? And like people get really excited about it, so it's like a fun pop song in that way. But yeah, I mean, it probably 10 years down the road, it's going to be very dated and all that kind of stuff.
I think 10 days down the road, it was dated.
Well, here we are 2 years later, and you guys seem to like it quite a bit, so I don't know about that.
That's true.
Anyways.
You know what? It's an instant classic.
Let's move on to the song that I actually think is pretty great. Track number 5, All Too Well.
Right.
What were... well, I guess I'll start. So I think this is a great song. This is probably my favorite or second favorite on the album. Apparently the first draft of it was like 10 minutes long. They had to cut it down.
Wait, really?
Yeah. I mean,
is it like 5 minutes as is?
Yeah, I think it might even be.
I remember thinking it like, this is a little bit long.
It is long. But yeah, I mean, they cut it down. But yeah, I guess the first draft was like 10 minutes.
Good Lord.
But yeah, it's a long song.
So it's just more just like, Jake Dylan home, so sad, about how we're not together, and you're an asshole, and remember how your mom made us do that one time, and it was good. So it's just like 10 minutes of like, we went to Whole Foods and bought some stuff. And then we went home, and your sister was, like, kind of weird that day, but she's okay, we, talked it through. So 10 minutes of just, like, hey, Jake, I'd like doing normal stuff with you. We're normal people.
So it doesn't really.
Wait, Lee, don't interrupt.
No, I'm done. That was the end of the song.
No,
We're normal people.
I think you had more hilarious jokes with.
I don't.
Okay, go ahead, Lee.
I think what Kit is trying to say, this song doesn't really go anywhere.
No, I like it. I like the song.
Okay.
I like the song. I just like thinking about how it's about Jake Gyllenhaal.
Right. Well, I guess in your musical critique there, it seemed like you're kind of focused on how these aren't really that, like none of these moments are that big of a deal.
No, that's why I like it though. That's why it's good.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think that's kind of a strength of it.
I think it's totally a strength. The specificity, I love it. Like it's the thing. I feel like we've talked about this in past episodes. Like when she talks about dancing in the refrigerator light, like that could have gone really wrong and been a really stupid lyric. But it's like it's something so specific, but also feels like a universal feeling of like that's the kind of shit that you think about. What I think is, and this I guess this goes to what we were talking about last week about the Rolling Stone article. I don't think it will because someday people will forget that she banged Jake Gyllenhaal. But for right now, I feel like it hurts the song so much to know that that's what it's about. Like, I just can't forget in my mind that, like, and that's what's funny to me, is that all these little, like, and a snowflake landed on your nose, what is, like, about Jake Gyllenhaal.
Right. That's one reason that before the podcast I never really pursued the kind of tabloid aspect. Is because that bugs me too. Like, or even like I think it bugs me more. Jake Gyllenhaal doesn't bug me as much, but like Joe Jonas, like Forever and Always being about him.
Yeah.
Like, God damn it. That's kind of spoils it. But anyways, Lee, what were some of your thoughts on this little tune?
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit like middling, but otherwise, she just does really well with the lyrics. What she does in Begin Again. And Everything Has Changed, and I Almost Do, kind of all these ballads where she just kind of goes through the history of the relationship with this person.
Right.
I think she captures, like, a person's inner voice really, really well. And, sort of, like, gets these little details that I feel like I can, I feel like I've been there kind of thing. And,
yeah.
I really think this is a good song.
Yeah.
So, like, I really like it. And to me, it almost sounds like it's in the mold of an old school country song. Like, almost like a Tammy Wynette kind of. Like you could do a much more, but just the movement of it and the content of it. Like, this sounds like, in the structure, it seems like a country song to me. Especially, like, I mean, you can hear someone going, like, all too well.
Right.
She does very well with these little details that just hit you immediately. You just understand what she's going for. I think Kit said that just now, but that's cool. That's why I love this lady, is that she has the ability to do that.
Right.
And when she doesn't do it, it's that's just her wheelhouse. This is right in her wheelhouse lyrically. This is what she does. And
I would have loved to hear
solid.
like George Jones do a cover of this.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Like
absolutely.
I think somebody could do like a real. I don't know. To me, this is like the most classical, simple songwriting.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I'm glad you guys liked it. And actually, this is collaboration with Liz Rose. So I think this is some of the kindest.
Liz Rose.
Some of the kindest words we've had for Liz Rose on the podcast, from Kit at least.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Liz
She
Rose.
came up with the line, crumpled paper on the floor, maybe. Anyway, go ahead.
I like her. I like her. It's a great collaboration.
Collabo.
My final note was that, what was my final note? Oh, yeah. So, there's the all capital letter messages in the lyrics.
Ooh, yes.
The one on this one is maple lattes, because I guess her and Jake Gyllenhaal
Jesus.
had maple lattes or something.
Gross.
It should be Gyllenhaal.
No, Lee is exactly right.
Oh yeah, maple is gross.
That sounds disgusting.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, I agree.
I think I had one
They
of those.
deserve each other.
Back at Dutch Brothers in Portland.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't handle it. It was
You had diarrhea, is that what you
it
were
was
saying?
bad.
Maple
Immediately,
diarrhea.
Within my first sip, it just started flowing. So that's probably what happened to her. That's probably why they broke up.
Probably. They had, a big accident. never speak of it again. Okay, track number 6. I almost said track number 22. Boy, would that have been funny. Track number 6, 22, by Taylor Swift, Max Martin, and Shellback. So this one, initially I hated it. Like the first time I listened to this album, this one stuck out to me even more than I Knew You Were Trouble, as just like her, going pop or whatever. And I really did not like the song. But listening to it now, after a year of sexual brainwashing, 2 years, I guess, I think after having like 5 pretty sad songs in a row, like this is cool because it's just talking about her hanging out with her friends and having a good time. And there is kind of like there's some lyrics that are kind of like they're meeting dudes and they're gonna like hook up or whatever. But for the most part, it's pretty much just her hanging out with her friends, having a good time. So I like it. It's this one's definitely grown on me.
This is actually this has been probably my second favorite song for a while. Maybe now my third favorite. But I liked it because I think the melody is pristine, except for like the spoken word thing at the beginning. But the melody just goes like an arrow through the song, and I feel like it just it gives it so much energy.
Yeah.
And I like that it's about. Well, unfortunately, at the very end. So I really like that it's about just hanging out with your buddies and making your own kind of universe, which is what she does in a lot of her songs. She's like, we're going to make our own little world and, screw everybody else, and we'll do what we want and be confident and be yourself and that kind of stuff. These just kind of general platitudes that I think she just nails and makes good pop music out of. Unfortunately, at the very end, I think she, like, you look like bad news, I've got to have you.
That repeats more than once.
Yeah, that kind of just comes out of nowhere. Like
that's the only part I like.
When was a guy, like to me I was like, it's just a bunch of ladies hanging out and having fun, and she's made interesting pop music out of that little moment, and I just don't hear a lot of songs like that, and I think that's cool.
Right.
It's not about lost love. And then again, the sequencing is very good. Because it just kind of explodes out of all these sad songs and really sets itself apart. But I'm super into the melody. Production is I think fits it perfectly. I just don't really like the opening where she has the fake, like, I guess hillbilly accent or something. It seems like a perfect night to dress up like hipsters. And it's just this. It's gross. I don't like that. But
right.
I like the rest of the song.
Okay, I wouldn't think of it as hillbilly.
One of my favorites.
That's interesting.
Is that what she's? I mean, it's a Kesha thing, but I think she's trying to put a spin on it. I don't know. It's confused. It's just a confusing way to open that song.
Right.
But I listen. I love it. It's like when people say they're watching TV and Goodfellas comes on. They're like, you know what? I'm just going to stop what I'm doing. I'm going to watch Goodfellas for the next hour and a half. When this song comes on, I have to listen to it all the way through. That is there's not a lot of songs that do that.
High praise. Very nice. Kit, do you want to tell us about how much you hated this song?
Yeah, I can't fucking believe you guys. So Lee played this for me like a couple weeks ago because like when we started doing the podcast, he started listening to Red and I hadn't listened to it yet, and he was like, "Can I play you my favorite song from Red?"
At the time, it was my favorite.
He said, "Can I play you my favorite song from Red?" And I was like, "Well, I'm kind of saving it, but sure. I want to hear it. I want to know like if there's this really good song." And he plays it for me. And okay, so like this time when I had to listen to it to take notes on it, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not kidding. When the song started, like tears sprang to my eyes at the prospect of having to listen to it again. Like I'm not kidding. I'm getting weepy right now thinking about it. Like, I hate this song so much. And I swear to God, and it's also like, okay, so now it's Taylor versus Taylor for worst opening line in pop history. And the way she says hipsters makes me want to blow my brains out. The whole, like, I'm a dumb white bitch rap at the beginning is just, like, soul-crushing. You're not Kesha. You do not need to be Kesha. Kesha does not want to be Kesha anymore. Like, Kesha is running as far away from Kesha as she can. Like, why would you embrace that? Like, it's so horrible. I do think that the chorus is, like, fine. Like, it sounds really super dated already, but I get that it's, like... But to me, it sounds like a lesser version of Never Getting Back Together in terms of, like, the production is so similar. There are certain lines that I can tolerate, but I think I would like the song better if it was just the chorus repeated over and over and produced more like We Are Never Getting Back Together, instead of the total ripoff of Katy Perry's Last Friday Night that it actually is. And I do think...
And Black Eyed Peas, that one, yeah, Kesha, Black Eyed Peas, Katy Perry, all in one.
Trifecta.
Yeah. The unholy
Satan.
trinity.
I do like Katy Perry, though. But I think the chorus... I mean, damn this girl. She still has a knack for bottling nostalgia. And even in this pile of horseshit, it works. You know, like, I think the chorus captures a feeling quite nicely. But I'd be embarrassed to be caught listening to this song. Like, I don't know how you listen to this if you're not 22. Like,
right.
15, I understand how you listen to if you're not 15. But this is like, I'm feeling 22. It's so fucking horrible. I hate it.
Okay. There is, talking about the chorus, that we're happy, free, confused, and lonely at the same time. Like, that is
That's the pre-chorus.
What's that?
That's the pre-chorus.
Is it pre-chorus? Whatever. Yeah. She repeats it. That's why I thought it was chorus. But, yeah, I don't know anything about music. But anyways, that line, though, that's like a pretty good description of what it's like to be in your early 20s.
I agree.
It's hard to put
But
that to
doesn't the
words.
way she says it, like, make you vomit? Like, we're happy, free, confused, lonely at the same time. Like, that's what it sounds like.
Right.
I fucking hate it. I can't even, like, my skin is crawling. I hate this song
And it's
so
pretty
much.
much a mission statement for this album as well. That
Yeah.
theme shows up in tons of these other songs.
Okay.
Track 7 of 16.
Oh, God. I got to get out of here soon because there's somebody coming to fix the washing machine. I don't want to be doing a Taylor Swift podcast 10 feet away from them. So.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
You can admit that you voluntarily listen to 22. You can do a Taylor Swift podcast next to a washing machine repair.
I mean, doing any sort of podcast 10 feet away, because, like, the washer is behind me. So.
It'll be exciting. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, yeah, we could ask him what he thinks. Or maybe it's a lady. I don't know. Track number 7, I Almost Do by Taylor Swift. I always kind of forget about, or actually, I'll go ahead and start. Screw you guys. So I always forget about this one because it's right between like 22 and Never Ever Getting Back Together.
And it seems like All Too Well as well.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, in some ways. But I like this song. I think it's a really good one. Yeah, and you kind of, like, this is one of the more kind of simple and relatable feelings, I think. Just going through the lyrics, it was just kind of like nothing super, I don't know, there's nothing really outstanding about them, but it's a pleasant little song, and it's like, yeah, I kind of get it. So, I don't know, that's what I got. What do you guys got?
All right. Well, I said it feels really weird coming after 22
Yeah.
to me. I think it's good. I don't think it's as good as All Too Well, but I like the concept of, like, I Almost Do for a song. And it also feels like a very classic country kind of idea. Like, again, I think it passes the test of I almost do. Like, something like that, you know? You can imagine George Jones singing that line. So it also feels like it's weird, like, I don't know if I like it or dislike it, that this is basically the same song as We're Never Getting Back Together, but from a completely different kind of mood. It's like, we're never getting back together, but, like, I miss you and I wish that we could fix everything. And then We're Never Getting Back Together is like, fuck you, man.
Right. Well, those are it's pretty likely that one person would feel those feelings.
No, it's like, is that a cool thing to do? And she puts them right next to each other, or is that just, like, pick one, you know, to put on your album of 16 songs?
Yeah.
I also, like, just as a side, to go back to the Jake Gyllenhaal thing, I can't believe, what's wrong, Lee?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
I can't believe that Jake Gyllenhaal would risk a career as a serious Oscar-nominated actor by getting involved with this bullshit. Like, there are not a lot of albums out there dedicated to slamming Marlon Brando. And, like, I was watching... Mike, have you seen any of the Nightcrawler trailers?
No, but I want to jump in real quick. This is Jake Gyllenhaal from Bubble Boy that you're talking about. Is that correct?
I know, but he's also an Oscar-nominated actor who's really done a lot of really good acting in his lifetime.
He's
and he's very young to have. I mean, he's only like 34, I think.
Okay.
Wasn't he born in like 1980 or something? Maybe I'm wrong, but I think he's pretty young.
You're right.
Too old to be dating her, but pretty young. And I just like, if you watch. Mike, after this podcast, go watch the Nightcrawler teaser trailer. Make sure it's the teaser trailer, the shorter one, and then think to yourself, most of Taylor Swift's Red is about this dude. Like, it's an amazing contrast.
Okay.
I do not like the line, I bet you're sitting in your chair by the window looking out at the city.
I remember that
because
in your chair.
To me, it's like, I don't think it adds any kind of color to the song. Like, it's not, like, why is this line here? To me, the only thing it does is act as a clue to Jake Gyllenhaal that the song is about him. Because he must have a chair by a window.
How did she remember my chair?
This song, she mentioned my chair by the window.
Maybe Taylor Lautner has a chair too. I should call him and check.
Oh my god.
This is for the Bubble Boy who saved this all, not the birthday boy. That was a callback to...
yeah, I got it.
Okay. Anyways, track number 8. We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together by Taylor Swift, Max Martin, and good old Shellback. So this one is my favorite of the Max Martin and Shellback collaborations that she's done. Although I guess Shake It Off is also... This is probably up there with Shake It Off. I like this one, though, because it's just... Like, it is sort of about the same kind of sad subject matter, but this one is more, like, triumphant and, like, fun. And the video is amazing. And I think that's actually the first I heard it was watching the video, possibly. But yeah, and then, okay, so I really like this song. The spoken word part, like, so he calls me up and he says such and such, like, I remember that bugged me at the time. Like, I was, like, really digging the song, and then that happened, I was like, what the fuck? But kind of have, I've moved beyond that. It doesn't bug me anymore, and it's, I kind of like it, because it's like the bass drop, where, like, both of her biggest, like, lead singles for this album have something that's just kind of, this one more so than a bass drop isn't really out of its element on pop radio, but, like, the little spoken word thing, I think that's pretty unique. But I think it's cool that she, like, put stuff like that in there.
Shake It Off, where you either embrace it or it keeps you from liking the song. You know? Like, you just have to go, and the one thing I wish it didn't sound like recording will sound. You know what I mean? It sounds like a mic in a room. I wish she was just talking into, like, the same vocal mic instead of it sounding like she's in a room confessing to her girlfriend. Like, I think that's what's annoying about it.
Right, okay.
Or what's most annoying about it for me. But yeah, I think it's like, just fucking embrace it. Or never listen to the song.
Right, yeah. But yeah, so I guess, the only other note I had on it was, like, just sort of that, and like you're saying, that's in Shake It Off, but just, like, that little kind of bit of pop experimentation is why I'm really excited, but also really nervous about 1989, just because it's like, I don't know what she's going to do. I don't know how I'm going to react to it. But I'm really excited.
I know how you're going to react to it.
Well, who knows for sure.
Who can say?
But
I can.
What?
I can say for sure.
No, you can't. Nobody knows anything.
We already established that if she, like, farted into a microphone for 30 minutes, you'd love it. So I think you'll like it.
That would be quite a feat to fart for 30 full minutes. So I think it's worth a listen. But what do you guys think? Let's go through.
I knew this was going to come after I Almost Do, because I like the same song.
Right.
And this has the same, like, dumb white bitch rapping, but it works, and I just was like, why? Why does this work? And then 22 is horrendous.
I think the preferred term is hoe. I think bitch is kind of antiquated.
Okay. But
I'm
I mean
just saying.
bitch.
Okay.
And the banjo beat works. Like, the song is so similar to 22, but so much better, and the bass and the beat in the Your Friends part is so great. Where she does a, your friend talk to my, like that.
Yeah.
That is like a transcendent, that's the best part of a song that's very good throughout, but that is just like, good lord, this sounds amazing. I love that part.
Yeah.
And I don't, like, to me, this is kind of like an R song style classic. And I think maybe I don't mind the production on this because it's sort of like, so this has very of the moment production on it, right? Like some of the other songs do.
Right.
But maybe why I don't mind it is because this song kind of wouldn't exist. It wouldn't have been written at any other time. Like, it, in a way, on the one hand, it's like, if you just played a straight version of this song in the 50s, it would sound good. But some of the stuff that makes it magical, like, wouldn't exist in any other period of music. So it's sort of like I think only in the midst of this, like, narcissistic, like, pretending to be retarded time of pop production could this song have come about. I do believe she should cut Katy Perry a check, though. And I did finally put this on my iPod, which I've wanted to do for like 2 years, but just haven't done it. And finally, I can't believe I'm only halfway done with this album. Go ahead, Lee.
Yeah, actually, to do some revisionist history, I started listening to Taylor because I liked this. This is the song I heard on the radio, and I was like, you know what, this is just a killer track. And then I came up on YouTube. I watched her do a live performance in what looked like sort of like a northeastern kind of fancy house in a large living room with all of her about 20 or 30 fans sitting cross-legged in front of her, and she's just on a chair and with her guitar and no microphones or whatever. It was professionally shot, but she performed this song first. And I thought it was just so great in both settings. She did a great job singing and playing it, and the song just worked, even with just her and the guitar.
Okay, so it was just her and the guitar.
And she actually did 22 in that setting as well, and that really made me love that song, and even more. But that really just showed me how she does what she does. She can connect with people so well. And I thought that watching that performance of her doing acoustic and listening to this song, I feel like there was no loss in translation. Like, she can just really connect with people in both settings. And I think that's what makes her special. And I think that's where Never Getting Back Together, that's why it'll probably be one of those singles I think that gets remembered for a really long time. Because it just has so much of her in it. Where, like, something like Trouble kind of doesn't. It just kind of feels like she's wearing a suit or something. She's like putting on clothes. But
yeah,
I thought Never Getting Back Together is just like that image of her in just a room with 20 people singing these songs to them with no amplification is like perfectly translated into this huge monster pop hit. And so I applaud Max Martin for being able to do that. Yeah, it's just this is a great song. There's not a lot of songs out there right now that are about this, or just this specific little feeling that she can blow up into a pop song. There's no one else that does it. I really love it. I think it's going to be her legacy song.
Huh. Yeah. So you think this is the one? Like, I don't know. Interesting. But yeah, I agree. I agree with most of that.
Okay.
Cool. Track 9.
All right. We're over the hump.
Over the hump. Hang in there, Kit. Track 9 is Stay, Stay, Stay by Taylor Swift.
I can't believe what time it is, and we're already We're only in the song 9
Yeah, let's
of 16.
blow through some of these
All right.
crappy ones.
Okay, I'll do my notes really quick.
All right.
I love this song. It's kind of cheesy, but it's cute and happy. The thing at the end where it's like the little studio banter, I don't know what they call that, studio chatter, where she like laughs and she's like, "It's so fun."
Yep. Every time she laughs, Mike's like,
I knew it. So fun.
Oh, get ready for this though, Kit. When I first heard that, it bugged the hell out of me because I couldn't figure out. Like, it seemed like they just recorded. Well, no, but like I finally figured out she was talking about. I think she's just talking about the song. It's like they finished the song and she was listening to it and she's like, "It's a fun song." So that made sense. But the first time I heard it, I was like, "Fuck, man, that's kind of weird. That's annoying." But I guess maybe she's melted my icy heart with her warmth.
Hot island.
Her hot island. Yeah, I couldn't remember hot island.
It's like, do we cool her hot heart? Anyway.
Good line. Okay. What you guys? What were your speed notes?
My main complaint was that it sounds like a Target commercial.
See, and I think the Target commercials are much better. Because I know what you mean. You're talking about like those kid Target commercials.
It sounds like
Target has a lot more taste than this song does.
It sounds like any commercial out there.
I said, it's funny, and again, I'll let you know, we took these notes independently. Okay. I said, I can't decide if this song sounds like a Ross Dress for Less commercial, a Disney Cruise Line commercial, or a Panera Bread commercial.
Right, because it has that kind of like bouncy. I don't know.
It sounds like Lee's job someday when he will be writing songs for like commercials and HGTV shows. This is the kind of thing that people will want him to come up with. Right. And then he'll quit in disgust. This is the worst song I've ever heard. That's one of my notes.
No, it isn't.
No, but like that's how I felt. Like, I mean, you have to understand. Like, I'm just taking these like stream of consciousness while I'm listening to the song. I honestly can't decide if I hate this or Trouble more, because Trouble just like is out there with being terrible. It's just like, hey, I suck. This one is like more insidious. Like, look how cute I am. You won't even notice that I fucking suck. This is like this is just what I wrote in my notes, okay, at the time, and I'll never listen to it again to find out if this is accurate. But this is my gut reaction. Typing along as I listen to the song. This is like if Hey There Delilah fucked Bruno Mars and gave birth to that possessed doll from The Conjuring. This is like the soundtrack to me hanging myself. If I ever find myself a negotiator in a Waco situation, I will blast this at the cult members, and I bet I will only have to play it once before they start setting themselves on fire. That's what I think of this song.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I thought it was pretty good. Moving on to track 10?
All right,
let's do it. I think this would be actually, to move on back to track 9, I think this would be a bad choice if you're trying to get a cult out of a building, because you're telling them to stay repeatedly. So
it's great.
Try I don't know.
I'll try Trouble.
Yeah, try Trouble first, and then see how that goes, and then maybe try this one.
But that's honestly like it would work for me. Like if in hostage or in like terrorist negotiations, they'll like play American music at them to freak them out. Like this would be one of the ones I play.
Well, yeah. So set this as your alarm, and then you'll rush out of bed to turn off the alarm.
So true.
I'll have to put the alarm across the room.
Right. Well, that's what I do. I have to do that anyways. Otherwise, I just stay in bed.
I think I'll just sleep forever.
Yeah. Track number 10, The Last Time, featuring Gary Lightbody of Snow Patrol.
Mike, what do you think of this song?
By Taylor Swift, Gary Lightbody, and Jackknife Lee. What do I think of this song? Last Time. I'm trying to think of how it goes.
It's true. It's difficult.
My thoughts are...
It goes like this.
This is the one that's like do-do-do, 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 do-do-do.
No. It basically sounds like a foghorn. It all just sounds like a big...
I hate Gary Lightbody's voice so much. Like
he's kind of got like that...
Take the food out of your mouth before you sing, man.
Let me look it up. Okay, but my notes overall aren't... This is not one of my favorite songs on here. So yeah, it's different for her. Her voice kind of sounds like breathy, like it did when she did the song with the Civil Wars.
Yeah, but this is so much worse than that song. Like, that song was so much better than this, don't you think?
Yeah, I do. I don't.
And her voice doesn't sound. Their voices don't sound good together. Whereas with the Civil War, she said they all sounded amazing.
Okay, yeah, this is the song I thought it was. I had to play it real quick.
I don't think her voice sounds good with this Buckles voice.
No, I don't really like the song. Let's say this is one of the 4 I would cut.
I feel like Gary Lightbody turns everything he touches into like a Ziggy cartoon, or like Eeyore or something. It's just so. It's like put him out of his misery.
I've never ever listened to Snow Patrol, so I have no opinion of him.
If I lay here, if I just lie here.
That kind of sounds like Scott Walker.
Oh my god, I hate it. Well, Scott Walker. Okay.
You kind of sounded like Scott Walker, Kit.
Oh.
Great. This song reminds me of how, like, you know, at the end of like the classic Disney animated movies, they would have like Peebo Bryson and Vanessa Williams doing Colors of the Wind or In Whole New World. And even as a kid, you're like, I much prefer the Aladdin and Princess Jasmine version of this. Like, that's what this reminds me of. Also, you know the thing that really insults me about this song that takes it from being just lame to horrible? This is a complete Lady Antebellum cash grab. It's despicable to me.
I don't know Lady Antebellum.
So, I don't know how to explain things to Mike if he's never heard anything. You're like, Lee, you know the song, It's a 1:15, I'm all alone and I need you now. And it's like that duet. What?
The only reason I know that song is because Weird Al did it.
Oh, did he? Oh, yeah, in a polka?
In a polka, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that song, if you look at, so that band, as far as I know, that band had had never had a hit. They were a really small time, and then that song was a monster hit for them. And you can tell because if you go to their Wikipedia page and look at the album cover for this album that song is on, it looks like I did it in MS Paint. It's like so bad. The album cover, it doesn't look professional at all. But that song was huge and was released about a year before this album. Well, it was released about a year before and had a slow build. To me, this is 100, and the way that because you can sing duets without like talking directly to each other. You know what I mean? This song is 100% an attempt to do their own version of that, and as such, it sounds horrible. I hate it. And the transparency of the greed is insulting. Like, at least disguise it a little better. And honestly, I think he sounds good on the very end of the song when he starts singing a little more, and then she sounds bad. I think she sounds like shit on the end of the song. And it also didn't need to be 5 minutes long. I hate this. This is horrible. On a fucking 16-song album, why would you include this shit except because you're like, maybe this will blow up like that Lady Antebellum thing?
Huh.
It's horrible. I hate it.
Interesting perspective. Lee, what did you think?
I don't like the song. It's boring.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, not a big fan. So I guess that's all 3 of us would vote this off of our album.
Absolutely.
Excuse me. Okay, well, let's move on to track 11, Holy Ground by Taylor Swift. I have very few notes on this song.
Me too. This is like the least notes.
Right. I really like this song, but I feel like it doesn't really take off. Like, it's like, you know, it's a good beat, I guess. I don't know how you would say it. It's not really, I don't know. Like, it's a very energetic song, but it doesn't really have that, like, moment where it builds into something new.
Yeah, it doesn't quite get to, like, oh, yeah, this is awesome, but I like it.
Yeah, I do like it.
I think it's good, and it's a good vocal performance.
Yeah, that's true. Lee, do you like the... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, kid.
Okay, also, this is the one that had a Taylor trope in it that I noted, which is a girl in a dress.
Oh.
Like, specifically mentioning a girl in a dress, that's something worth noting. The vocal sounds retouched a little, but it sounds good. And this is, to me, and Lee and I had a big debate about this that ended up with me being extremely angry. But to me, this is just like a total Florence and the Machine kind of thing. But it is good in its own right. I think it stands on its own, and you can interpret it in a number of ways. But the way that it's interpreted, I think, is an attempt to be a Florence and the Machine kind of song.
See, I've never listened to them either. So.
I don't know. It seemed like this and State of Grace pretty much take up the same thematic space in this album, so I would boot this off.
Okay.
I don't know. I like
in
this
exchange
one,
for
though.
State of Grace. Not just because they're both religious allegories, but they also sound very similar. Yeah, it's fine. I don't know.
I like it. I think it's good. It didn't go on my iPod or anything, but
I think it helps the album flow pretty
it's
well.
enjoyable.
Kind of kicks in
Right.
at the right place.
No, yeah. I really do think, though, if this built to just something a little more, like, it would be a great, great song. Because I do like it. But yeah, I could definitely see the State of Grace comparison as well. So, but yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I'll jump in and repeat myself again. Was there more? I apologize. That was just terrible. That was terrible. Okay. What happened?
I don't know. You're just funny.
Oh, thank you. Track number 12, "Sad, Beautiful, Tragic" by Taylor Swift.
Mhm.
Somebody else go first this time.
I'll go.
After my misstep on that last song there, I just interrupted. I don't think I can go on much further. No, Kit. Let me apologize first.
I know. Keep going.
And,
I think so. There are some things I liked about this. Like I like the backing vocals. I'm a sucker for the upright bass sound on it.
It's a nice touch.
Yeah. But ultimately, I could tell I'm like, I like it, but if I keep listening to it, I'm gonna hate it. And lo and behold, it sounds like something off the self-titled, which is not a bad thing. I think ultimately it's very similar to Teardrops on My Guitar, where it's just like boring. And it also sounds to me like my conclusion about the song is like, I could write this, and I don't write songs. Like this is just very like, put a really basic melody over like slow, two slowly played chords and write some drippy lyrics, and like the rhymes are really lame. I said this song sounds like pure horse girl.
Pure what?
Horse girl. This is a horse girl kind of song.
Horse girl.
Horse girl.
Horus girl, like the girl who worships Horus, the god.
Horse girl.
What?
You guys don't know what horse girls are?
I know what horse girls are.
Girls who like draw horses and wear shirts with horses on them, and
I love horse girls.
Horse girls. Is that because Taylor's a horse girl?
I don't know. I just I love.
And then they draw dicks on the horses.
Well, I think that's. I have long wondered if that was at the root of it. But there were certain girls in my school that were obsessed with horses. Like they were quiet and kind of weird, and they were really obsessed with horses.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's a horse girl.
A horse girl. I love horse girls though.
All right, well then.
I think this song was pretty much here just to. This is like a make-out song. It's really long, and it's.
But it's so sad. It's such a bummer.
It's sad, but it's it's just this one mood that I think that's what she's. There's not a lot of content to it.
You know what I hate about it though? It's and again, it's I think I've said this before. My least favorite lyrics are often the ones she repeats. So I feel like we just have different tastes in lyrics. Where she thinks the best lyric she wrote, I think is the worst lyric, and. We had a beautiful magic love there.
Oh, yeah.
In order to get the rhyme with, affair.
Yeah. Right.
Love there?
I didn't even know.
Awful! That's god awful! That's so terrible.
A little bit lazy, Taylor.
It sounds so stupid when she says it, too. I don't know.
That's funny. That is bad. I hadn't noticed that. There was a line, though, I thought, for the most part, that the lyrics were pretty unexceptional, but... words, how little they mean when you're a little too late, I thought was a really good one.
All right, Mike.
That's pretty,
Yeah, it's fine.
Whatever.
I don't think the song is that bad, but it's pretty bad.
Right. I would not say bad, I would say unexceptional, perhaps.
Yeah, it's just again, I ask, 16 songs, and this needs to go on there?
Well, thanks.
Right. So, okay, some other time I want to talk about horse girls more.
Okay. No,
but
go ahead.
Should we move on to... Should we go ahead?
What do you want to say about horse girls?
I don't...
Well, you said this is a horse girl song. What traits do you identify a horse girl as having? Because we might be coming at different angles.
No, I agree. They're the girls who are kind of quiet and weird and but sometimes a little bit scary, and they draw horses with like dicks on them. And
I don't remember the dicks.
That's where I depart as well.
And wear horse T-shirts. I may be thinking of a specific person.
You might be.
But to me, I think it was more in the way it sounds than in the way, I don't know, it's just like I picture a horse girl in her room drawing horses and listening to this song.
Right. Interesting. Let me tell you a story.
Okay, go ahead.
A horse girl. So there was a horse girl.
You should write a song about this, Lee. This story, okay?
All right, I'm listening.
Okay. Well, no, I want to use it in a book, though. I kind of want us to cut this out of the podcast because I thought this was something magic, or something secret that I had stumbled onto.
Haha, nope. Okay.
But she, this is like in 5th grade, and the teachers. This didn't happen to me. This is a friend told me this story. Mm-hmm. But the teacher handed out a test, and she's like, "Okay, you have 30 minutes to complete this math test or whatever." And so the girl, every day, all day, sat there drawing horses. And the teacher gave her the test, and she kind of, I guess, just ignored it or something, and she kept drawing her horses. And then the teacher called and said, like, "Okay, everybody pass in your tests." And the girl kind of, like, sat up and got kind of embarrassed, and she, like, went and talked to the teacher, and she said something like, "I didn't start my test, like, I was drawing, like, the whole time." And so she was so focused drawing her horses and just, like, in her own world that she didn't take the test, and just, like she was, I don't know. I always thought that was crazy. Like she was that checked out.
Yeah.
But she was a real weirdo. But
that's saying something coming from Mike.
Yeah. Someone right. Mike thought was weird.
Right. I don't even mean that in a bad way. Like she was just.
No, I know, and I don't mean it in a bad way either. Like honestly, right. I don't. It's just like that's a thing.
Yeah, and there's a whole series of books. Like working at the library, I'm over in the kids section a lot, shelving. And there's tons of books about horses and like riding clubs and and it seems like young girls, like certain types of young girls, are just like super into horses. I always thought that was I don't know. Yeah. I've never quite understood.
And I think because of the dicks, it was always very like sexualized to me. Like,
that's what I wondered about. Thing. But it's like I didn't know any horse girls who drew the dicks. I guess.
But then why did you think it was sexual? Just because it's like
because when I
drawing
think of
the
horses,
musculature of a horse.
When I think of horses, let me tell you another story here.
Okay, you got fucked by a horse.
Got fucked by a horse. Some guy actually died getting fucked by a horse.
I know, but he was raping the horse, so good.
They made a movie about it.
Yep.
Anyways, my horse story is a little less crude. But when I was at church camp, like when I was a little kid, we were riding horses and just kind of like waiting in line to get on a horse. And just like there was like 3 or 4 horses, and they just all had these huge dicks hanging out, and like it was distracting, and like nobody could not notice it. It was like they weren't just kind of like tucked up like they usually are. They were all just like 2 feet long, hanging out. So that's when I think of horses. That's what I think of as dicks.
Big old dicks.
Yeah. Right, and so I always wondered if it was like how like young teenage girls or something, like I don't know. But then I also think like something about horses, like they're beautiful, like they're like
yeah, but I always felt like they wanted to be a horse.
Right. Yeah. So I didn't think it was necessarily like sexual like that, although I kind of wondered. But yeah, I think more of it has to do with just like kind of like
it's like furries or something.
Furries. Okay. Oh, is it really? No, I don't.
Well, that's what it. They seem connected to me, where
I think
it's like
getting in that area.
I understand the animal world so much better than the human world.
Yeah,
something like
absolutely.
That.
Okay.
I think it's encroaching on that territory.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay.
The lucky
Moving
one.
on to track 13. Mm-hmm. Lee, go ahead and start us off.
Oh, this is my second favorite song on the album. I think the lyrics are awesome. I love how restrained it is. That's actually my favorite feature of it. Is it's a very restrained song, both musically and lyrically. It's an interesting topic. She's writing about fame in a way that isn't kind of like annoying or poor me. It's a little bit poor me, but I think it's an interesting reflection on fame. And I love the little drum beat. I love the melody. It just comes together really nicely.
I don't hate this song, but don't you think it's weird? It's like she's writing about fame, but still from the perspective of someone who doesn't know about fame. It's like
a
a
third person thing.
1930s noir kind of version of.
It's interesting to
Fame
say that
still.
because in the live video, they go into a big Hollywood, kind of more like 1920s.
Okay, but you know what's
piece.
interesting? Okay, so when I saw the title of the song, I've never heard it. I don't know what the lyrics are, but the Lucky One, I'm like, something in my brain. Yes.
Lucky.
I'm like, it's gonna be like the Britney Spears song, and it is.
It's very simple.
Yeah.
It is, and I feel like, and she loves Britney Spears.
Right.
So she must. I was reading something recently where someone just mentioned, like, remember back in like 2001 when Britney Spears told us all what was coming. Like, she told us all of the horrors to come from her psyche.
All the horrors to come.
Yeah, like we didn't realize that she was lucky. But yeah, it's I don't know about this, but it is I mean, it has to be a deliberate kind of tribute, right?
I think so. I think there's references to Britney Spears, and then other people have put together. They think it's kind of about Joni Mitchell.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
But it's the exact same version of Fame as depicted in Lucky.
Right.
Which is like not actual fame, but like a fable of fame.
I like those.
I don't hate it. I think that's what keeps it from being complainy, probably.
Totally.
Right.
But
I think
it's
strange.
strange.
It's a very like a valid way to get around that problem. I think.
Exactly. Yeah. I think I haven't listened to Lucky forever, but I remember that one kind of. There's a lot of times like artists will sing a song about how hard it is to be famous, and it's hard to like. Even though I think like a lot of what they're saying is completely valid, it's kind of like, dude, come on, you make like millions of dollars. Like I know it's takes a toll, but like I got like $5 an hour working at a video store or something like that. So it's hard. It's like even if they're right, it's sort of hard to give a shit. But I think that she sidesteps that by making it about somebody else, and Taylor comes in at the end as herself. But I think that's a good way to sidestep it. But it's still, you kind of still get the valid points across without making it like, man, poor me, that kind of stuff. So I guess
very nice, like self-contained little song. Big fan of it. I'm thinking, was this a Liz Rose collaboration? It seems like it is.
It didn't say so. It said it was just by Taylor Swift.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah,
solid song,
I don't really like it that much. I like it okay, but I feel like it doesn't go anywhere. Like, I'll tell you what I love about it. I think it'd be very interesting if she did kind of like a Phil Spector-y, because it sounds like, can you imagine, like, she could do a whole album of like Leslie Gore covers. But if she did like a whole, I know, you would.
That would be amazing.
You would die.
I would die.
But to me, that's kind of what this reminds me of. Like, this is kind of a Leslie Gore kind of song and a Phil Spector-y kind of sound. Like, and I would love if she, like, did an album in that direction. Kind of like a Christina Aguilera Back to Basics kind of thing, except back to, like, the 60s. And but I don't think this song is all the way there yet. Okay. I appreciate how restrained it is, but I just found it boring, ultimately. But I really wanted to really like it. And I do like where it's going, but it just feels unfinished to me, and I think the lyrics kind of suck, to be honest.
I really like the lyrics.
It could be good.
I really like the lyrics too.
Well, you win then.
Well, that's true. This is democracy in action. Yeah. Well, no, but I mean, just I don't know if you're saying that specifically you don't like certain lyrics or what, but like I mean, it tells a full story.
I think the phrasing of I think it's two things. I think the thing that you guys like about how it's non-specific about Fame, that you guys like that. I understand that it helps her sidestep the issue of complaining, but I also sort of feel like if it was just more openly a song about somebody else, which it seems to be anyway, even though it's kind of about her too, obviously.
Right.
But if it was just about Joni Mitchell, then that solves the problem. Not that she needs to say this is about Joni Mitchell, but it was just like, hey, I'm writing about somebody else. So that takes care of that problem. I would rather hear something like more specific about Fame, or alternatively, something that's like a straight up like Town Without Pity kind of like dramatic fantasy of Fame. But this middle ground, I find just awkward. And I don't like the phrasing of the chorus, which is a line, again, my least favorite line in the song repeats ad nauseum, and it's, "They'll tell you now you're the lucky one." That's weird.
That's a classic.
It's a strange way to say
I
that.
think that's a classic example of lyrics that don't work when you read them, but then when you sing them, it just sounds.
See,
right.
and I thought the phrasing sounded
rock
weird
all the
when
time.
she sang it too.
Yeah, I don't agree.
So that's just how I feel about it. But it's just, I put this just like as a difference of, I think we're fairly close, actually, on what we think of this song. I just come down on not really liking it.
Right.
And just to put a cap on it, I would have ended the album here. That's my big controversial statement.
See, okay, if she had done that,
that's
though...
crazy.
I would have cut the last 3 songs.
Oh my god, you would...
Okay.
Oh my god.
See,
This is where I would tell her to stop.
Wow.
Stop playing. Put down the guitar, Taylor. Leave
if
my
she
house.
had done that, I would have freaked out. I think everybody would have freaked out. Because this song, even just hearing it as track 13 with 3 more songs after it, like, I was like, she's leaving. Like, this is it. She's going away.
The last 3 tracks are just silence.
Yeah. Well, oh my god. Like, yeah, she couldn't. You can't end an album with this unless you're leaving. Like, it'd be like, Neutral Milk Hotel, but don't hate her when she gets up to leave, and the album ends. It'd be like if they had a couple tracks after that, like that. That closes the album, and then they're gone for 14
That's
days.
madness, Lee. This would be like the most boring... whatever.
Right. But yeah,
I liked
so
it enough.
if she had done that, I would be dead. So
That would be unfortunate.
yeah, we wouldn't be able to do this podcast. Anyways, yeah, I didn't mean to.
Everything has changed.
Are we? Yeah, moving on.
Yep.
Okay. I like this song. That is my only note on it. It's one of the few that's not like kind of sad. I enjoy it.
It's a much better duet than the one with Holly Golightly.
Yeah, this is I would label this as a successful duet.
I really like Ed Sheeran. Not his music, but as much, I just don't know much about his music, but I really like him. And I kind of assume that the only reason they haven't dated is that he's a decent guy at her age. So she's not interested.
He kind of feels like the guy that's like in the next dorm room is a pretty good singer-songwriter.
Yeah, but he's really likable, and I think their songwriting styles are oddly similar. Like, he's very Jason Mraz-y, which is funny because he was on SNL recently, and they literally went from a sketch that made fun of Jason Mraz to Ed Sheeran singing a Jason Mraz song, basically. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
But I think their voices sound very good together. This sounds like a true collaboration to me. This sounds like 2 artists getting together and writing a song together. I kind of wish he didn't get his own verse because I tend not to like duets unless they really call attention to the fact that they're duets like Paradise by the Dashboard Light or something. I don't like that because I think the going back and forth thing always reminds me of those songs at the end of Disney Disney movies where I'm like, why don't I want to listen to these 2 people pretend to be in love and sing to each other? But it's okay.
It's okay.
It's better than like I said, it's way better than the other duet, and I don't know why you need 2 duets with Scottish people on this. I don't even know if he's Scottish.
I don't think he's Scottish. I think he looks extraordinarily Irish. Maybe he's Scottish. I don't know.
I think he's just UK.
Okay. But he opened for her at the Red Tour, and it was pretty cool. It was kind of just him, I guess he was looping his guitar. It was just him up there, and he was singing and playing guitar. And
yeah, well, he played at the Olympics or something too. I don't know, with just a guitar.
Right.
I really like him as
cool.
a dude, and like I said, I don't love his music, but I approve of his right to exist and be a songwriter and stuff. Where there's people I don't.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we're kind of all in agreement.
Like Holly Golightly. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think we're in agreement. Even though I would also cut it from the album.
I probably would ultimately, but only because it's a 16-song album.
Okay. Well.
But it's good. It's fine.
Maybe they could have put it on one of his albums. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're not really needing to sort this out.
I do like that it's happy as well.
Yeah, I do.
Like,
I think that's one reason I wouldn't want to cut it is because that would kind of
That's a good point.
take a little out of the. So the next song, speaking of happy, here's track number 15, "Starlight" by Taylor Swift.
Let Lee go first, Mike.
Go first, Lee.
I'll actually say this is my least favorite song. I actually like this less than this is my least favorite song I've heard by her. I hate it more than Trouble. And I read on the internet, and I was so disappointed that I did this, that I saw that this was one of your favorite songs.
Yeah, this is possibly my favorite song on the album.
This has everything that I just dislike about what she did in this album. Like, come on, listen to this lyric. And I know I'm going back on my statement just a bit ago that you can't always read lyrics and take them out of context. They can sound stupid. But the lyric, "We could get married, have 10 kids, and teach them how to dream."
Right. Listen, Lee.
What?
Okay. This
and
song,
then it goes into a ripping guitar solo?
Right.
Why?
Okay.
Mike, what do you think I think of this song?
It's hard to tell. I can never really guess with you, but I'm going to guess hate just because you're generally hateful.
I love it. I put it on my iPod. It's fucking great. I cannot believe he hates it.
Awesome.
Song blows, man.
He's fucking crazy. That is honestly like, maybe we shouldn't have gotten married.
All right, let's work this out then. We're gonna help Lee like the song more.
Okay.
So the first thing you said, that have 10 kids and teach them how to dream, which that's the best. I love that.
And that's Taylor Swift. If you don't like that, then you don't like Taylor Swift. I agree with you. But that's what she does to me. It's like borderline stupid lyrics that are because they're so fucking sincere. You know what I mean? Like it's Go ahead.
Okay, so this song is about Ethel and Robert Kennedy, and they had 11 kids. So I'm imagining 11 didn't quite fit there as well. Or maybe she just hated one of the kids. But so yeah, like this song is about them. She said she saw a photo of them, of Robert and Ethel Kennedy. I don't know if she saw it.
Oh yeah, when she was fucking their grandson.
I think it was before then, because she became friends with. I think what it was, she read a book about the Kennedys,
and then was like, "I'm gonna fuck me one of them."
And she said, "I'm gonna bag me a Kennedy."
I'm gonna go to this kid's high school and check him out of high school and go take him to a bed and breakfast and fuck him.
I mean, are you saying she shouldn't have done that, or you're saying that like it's a problem or something?
Hey, I'll pick this one because his mom just committed suicide.
Now, Kit, come on now.
Taylor Swift, Predator.
Let's. One of the rules is always be respectful of Taylor Swift.
I do not respect that choice that she made.
We don't know.
I do not respect the choice that she made to buy a house across the street, to read a book about the Kennedys and go, they sound pretty cool. Let me see if I can fuck one. Hey, this young one seems vulnerable. I'll pick him and buy a house across the street from him, and his whole family will hate me.
Why on earth would we think that that's what she actually thought or did? Like,
it seems like the sequence of events suggests that she read a book about the Kennedys and decided she wanted to be a Kennedy.
But why would you think she was like, hey, that kid's probably emotionally vulnerable. His mother just died. Like, let's go for him. She could have. I imagine there's other.
I don't know, but do you think there's an alternative where she could have thought, hey, that kid's mother had just died. Maybe I won't pursue him.
I mean, that's no reason. If you're feeling what you're feeling, that's no reason to.
I mean, maybe disagree.
Maybe she wanted to be there for him when he was having a hard time. Who knows?
Sexually? I don't know. I have to think. If my mom had committed suicide, Lee had a crush on me. I think he wouldn't have picked that time to go, hey, you want to make out? Like,
I'll tell you what.
Let me comfort you, and maybe that'll move into, like, I don't know. I don't think that's right. But I love this song, Mike. Let's focus on that.
Yeah, let's focus on this song.
I wish I didn't know it was about the Kennedys.
Right.
I didn't know that.
Well, I was gonna say that's all we can do with regard to all that stuff is speculate. So let's not let that get in the way of the song. But yeah, the only thing that ever bugged me about this song was she says, "I met Bobby on the boardwalk, Summers 45," and for the longest time I thought she was saying, "I'm a Barbie on the boardwalk," And I was like, it bugged me for two
You
reasons.
heard a lyric wrong and that bugged you?
I don't think she can do anything about that one.
I mean, it didn't bug me that much. I still love the song. But it bugged me that she would describe herself as a Barbie. But then it also bugged me.
She didn't, Mike.
What's that?
She didn't.
Yeah,
No, she didn't, right. That's what I'm saying. But it also bugged me because I was like, Barbie didn't exist in the 40s. So, but then when I looked at the lyric book, I was like, oh, that's not what she says. And so it's like, this song is entirely perfect. Like from the opening line to the end, it's amazing.
Barbie on a boardwalk.
Yeah, and I thought, but she said I met Bobby on this. So yeah, it makes a lot more sense now.
Hey, I figured out that we could have 10 kids line.
Oh, okay.
This is before they had the kids, so maybe they were shooting for 10 and they ended up with 11.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Very nice.
Surprise along the way.
They were shooting for a baker's dozen, and they got 11.
Right, that's pretty close. You guys are going to have, what, 10 kids, 11 kids?
0?
After hearing the song, I don't know. I think 10 sounds pretty good.
Is it over between Kit and Lee because of this song?
No.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Oh my god.
I honestly, see, it's weird to me, because I feel like when I say I hate 22 and Trouble, you guys disagree with me, but you understand why someone would hate them. I cannot figure out why someone would hate this song.
I think one thing that contributes to my hatred of it is I was just tired of listening to this album by the time this song came in.
Well, that's not fair.
That's fair. I think it was poorly placed.
This is on my iPod, you bastards.
Yay!
It does sound like fireworks to me.
It just there's something about the tone of it and the production that just
No, I mean, it
cut
sounds
right
like the
through
Katy Perry song.
Pete Center.
Oh, it sounds like the Katy Perry song, Fireworks?
Yeah, it reminds me of the Katy Perry song Firework. And then I asked, does Taylor by any chance shoot sparks out of her tits in the video for this song? But I found out there's no video for this song, which is really fucking disappointing. I was so excited to watch a video for this song. Mike?
Yeah. Well, I was just, what? I can't think of anything to say to that. I wish there
You don't
was
want
a
there to
video
be
for it, too.
I love it. It's great.
Yeah, it's a great song.
And it's like fearless. I mean, it's dumb, but it's really infectious.
Right. Well, and it just makes you happy. It's a good, I don't know. I'm trying to think of kind of how to, so Lee, maybe try to listen to it again sometime when you're not all tailored out. So like, give it another shot and see if it goes.
Hey, 22 was his favorite song, and now he hates it. So he can change his mind.
Did I say I hated 22?
That was
did I?
comedic exaggeration.
No, you didn't say that.
I want to make sure. I want to put it back on the record that I think that's a great song.
Okay, you like it too.
You just
okay, so
said it's like Kesha.
just to kind of before we finish, just to kind of get everything in order, you guys are going to stay together and you're going to work through your difference with Starlight.
I don't know,
man. This
this kind
song
of balls in his court.
Yeah.
Okay, Lee.
I got some thinking to do.
What do you say?
I've got some thinking to do about that.
Okay, good lord. Man, this is like, all right, you'll have to join us in the next episode at least briefly, so we can kind of find out where you land on that. I'd feel bad about starting this podcast if you guys ended up splitting. I wouldn't feel that bad, but I would feel like a little responsible. Okay, so Lee, it sounds like you're coming around on Starlight, so we're going to move on to track 16. Begin Again, the final track. It ends all too soon, I think. This is a Taylor Swift solo. Who wants to start us off?
I will.
Go for it.
Wait, no. You both go.
You want us, Lee and I, to just say everything at the same time?
Yeah, go.
Yeah.
Okay. Lee, go ahead and go first.
I thought we were at least going to do that for a minute.
It would have gotten all confusing sound.
Do we have the comedic chops to pull that off?
I've got the chops. You got the chops?
You don't have the comedic chops to read from your notes while someone else also reads from their notes?
Well, it's got to be funny, or else it's just kind of annoying.
You know what makes it funny?
What?
Talking about it for 10 minutes before you do it. Go!
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't really like this song very much.
What did you think of it, Lee?
So I
That's it? That's your only note? Do you not remember it?
Well, I remember it. I guess it's kind of like a classic country song a little bit. It's a very like kind of classic singer-songwriter.
Why don't you like it?
I just thought it was kind of boring and kind of cheesy. Like this is a little over the line to be a little bit maudlin, and the melody doesn't really help that. I don't know. Just it's not my speed. It's not my kind of.
All right, Mike. What do you think?
Okay, I thought this is a nice happy ending for the album, but it's not like Starlight where it's just kind of ecstatic. I think it's a good ending track. I like the song quite a bit. And kind of at the beginning of the song, she's talking about, if we imagine maybe that she's been talking about one guy for the whole album, which, I guess we know she hasn't been, but if we just kind of looking at the album that way, that like she's talking about kind of the benefits of having lost this guy. Like the good aspects of it are, she can wear high heels again. He didn't really it sounds like he didn't get her, like he didn't get the song she's listening to. He, presumably didn't pull the chair out for her. He didn't think she was funny, stuff like that. So then there's this new guy she's meeting at the cafe, and it's kind of like the shortcomings of this previous guy who it didn't work out with, and that was hard. Like the shortcomings of that guy kind of morph into the pros of this new guy. So she's noticing like he does pull the chair out for her, and he's laughing at her jokes, and she says like, well, anyways, I guess I'm going into kind of a long spiel here, but I think it's kind of suggesting that like, love is starting over again, but not exactly like it's going to be an identical cycle, but that so it's kind of ominous to say like it's all beginning again, because we've just been through this album of, intense, painful emotions and sadness. But so like this song, it's kind of hinting at like this is all starting again, but there's kind of this hope that this time around, like it'll work, like that it's not going to be the same type of thing, that it'll be like this is the one or something like that. So I think it's a cool way to end the album, since it's been kind of a sad album, that it's not over the top, like just trying to be happy to kind of put it all behind you. It's like kind of calm and yeah. Anyways, those are my thoughts. Okay, yeah. What you got, Kit?
Well, first I want to say this is the weirdest album, one of the weirdest albums I've ever listened to, because it's like songs she wrote by herself in the style of Fearless, and then production extravaganzas by like 1,000 people.
Right.
And this is an outstanding song, I think.
Awesome.
I love these lyrics. She can end a fucking album.
Yeah.
Like, I hate change, but as I repeat, like, I love the idea of ending an album that way. And Long Live is a great way to end an album. This is an amazing way to end this album. This is also going on my iPod. I love it. And I'm a sucker for that, like, concertina sound that's, like, in this. This song is beautiful to me.
Nice.
But yeah, suck it, Lee.
See, I think Lee, though, like with this one and the last one, it sounds like he was just tired by the end of the album. I think if you listen to him again, you'll see the light.
No.
No? Okay.
Nope.
Maybe not.
Not a fan of these.
We don't need you, Lee. Mike and I?
Yeah.
Are you kicking him off the podcast?
No. I hate you too, because you like stay.
Oh, okay. So I think we should all just go separate ways and start our own individual podcast. All right, cool. So did anybody else have anything on Begin Again?
It's great. I love it. It's on my iPod. I love it.
Nice. Was that 3 songs from this album that got onto your iPod?
Yeah.
Let me see. I think it might be 4.
Oh, man.
But it's 16 songs, so there's 4. Begin Again, Starlight, We Are Never Getting Back Together, and Treacherous.
Awesome. So yeah, that's more than we had for Speak Now, I believe.
But Speak Now didn't have
success.
16 songs on it. That's not fair.
It was longer though.
Fearless, I had 5, including a couple of bonus tracks.
Oh, okay.
So that means this has been an extraordinarily successful podcast then.
Absolutely.
We've gotten quite a few songs on there.
There are Yeah, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Taylor Swift songs on my iPod.
Nice. So I guess it turns out that Mike was right all along. Taylor Swift is pretty cool.
4 songs should we cut?
Oh. Hold on. You there, Mike?
Yeah, I'm here. What happened?
Okay. Keep going.
I don't know. What
Okay.
4 songs would each of us cut?
Okay.
Oh,
Yep, Lee, go first.
No, you can only cut 4.
You only got 4?
You can only cut 4.
Well,
Because 12 is not ridiculous. Am I right?
12's getting there. I would. This could be a 10-song album.
But it could be, but he said it's shorter than Speak Now.
Yeah.
Already, even at 16 songs. Which
Minute-wise.
is ridiculous. Minute-wise.
All right. Well, let's.
You
let's
can only cut 4.
Let's go ahead and hit up. Starlight is going off there.
Oh, you.
Just
That's so stupid.
track number 1 is going off. Thought I Knew Your Trouble is getting off. Going off the album. And then there's a lot of songs that are just really similar. Like I said, I think I would actually, even though I think it's an okay song, I would cut Holy Ground. As I said, State of Grace really takes up that. And then song right after that, Sad, Beautiful, Tragic Love Affair, I would take off as well. Yeah, and I feel pretty good about the rest of about a 12-song Red album. I would do it.
Okay. That was a lot of
Michael?
songs. Oh, me next.
Yep.
Okay, State of Grace, keep in. So this is not saying that I actually think these songs are bad, just that if I'm creating my idealized version of the album.
Yes.
I would get rid of I Knew You Were Trouble. I would put I Almost Do before 22. Maybe. I guess, yeah, I'd maybe rearrange that. So I would cut I Knew You Were Trouble. I would cut The Last Time.
Oh, yeah. Damn.
And that's really it. I mean, every other song I like quite a bit.
Cut 4, Mike.
Yeah, you got to do it, man.
I really don't know which ones. Those are the only 2 that I can't think of anything, because there wasn't anything I don't like about.
All right, it's too painful for him. Fine.
Gosh. Weenie. Just 2
right.
more off a 16-song album.
Well, now
they're artists I love.
You
that
can
I
make
would
them
be able to
bonus
do
tracks,
this.
Mike.
Oh, they can be bonus tracks?
Sure.
Okay.
If that helps you.
Well, then let's go ahead and we'll take 22 off. But that's
Wow.
going on a...
Whoa!
No, but-
Victory!
It's a good song. I'm just saying that it doesn't fit with... I don't like having I Almost Do between 22 and We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe rearrange that a little. But yeah, so then 22 off. And I don't know. I mean, that's really it.
That's only
You have to
3.
pick one more, you bastard!
I can't do it.
You
You
have
can.
to!
I
They're
know you
bonus
can do
tracks. They
this.
become bonus tracks.
Yeah, you're just thinking
How
about moving.
about Sad, Beautiful, Tragic?
That's a pretty good one, though.
How about the Ed Sheeran one? You didn't really like that one.
Yeah,
I like that. No, I do like that one. Maybe... Here, okay, this is the deal. We can get rid of Holy Ground, but only if we have, on the bonus tracks, we have like a grander version. Like they've added in
Okay.
that mismount. Okay?
Okay.
There you go.
Oh my
All right,
God, you guys.
this is really easy.
I'm shaking over here.
This is really easy, and I want to be clear that I'm not making these bonus tracks. I am banishing them to the pit of hell.
Ooh.
Back where they came from. Okay. I Knew You Were in Trouble. 22. Stay, Stay, Stay. And The Last Time. For sure.
Okay.
Very confident. It becomes a very, very different album if you get rid of 22 and Trouble. Because then
It sure does.
We're Never Getting Back Together is like, wow, what an infectious pop hit, and the rest of it is pretty much
Right.
in the vein of Fearless and Speak Now. But much better.
All right. Well, maybe for album 6, she can bring you in.
Seriously,
Trim some of the...
I'm the queen of track lists.
Yeah. It seemed like you guys weren't liking the Max Martin Shellback stuff, and I know they're on several tracks for the new album. Re-listening to this album, it's like I'm kind of more nervous about 1989.
Wow.
I don't
Every week I talk to Mike.
It's more.
It's like he goes deeper into the hole of like, this album's not going to be good, but then he always closes with saying, I know I'm going to love it.
I was just about to say that. Like, I do think I'm going to love it. But I'm just nervous because it's like, what if it's all like Starlight? That would be amazing. But what if it's all like the last time? Or what if it's all, I don't know. Because there's just so many different, there's really not. There's only a couple directions on this. But I just feel like going off Shake It Off, like what if that's the We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together of the new album? So Shake It Off is great. I love that song. But then you couldn't really say, like, from any of the lead singles for Red, like, oh, the rest of the album sounded like that. So it's
exactly.
like,
I was shocked. So I don't know. It could be her idea of, like, really changing her sound is just not as dramatic as I thought it would be.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that's the case. Because, like we're saying, there's so much on Speak Now that sounds like the songs that are on Red. Or, I mean, there's so much on Red that sounds like the songs on Speak Now. So I'm sort of wondering if, like, we get the new album, there's 3 or 4 songs with Max Martin and Shellback that are like kind of the radio stuff, which are maybe they're good, maybe they're not good, but the rest of them are like, it's like, oh, this is same old Taylor Swift, like Speak Now, maybe with different instrumentation, or I don't know. Yeah. She's saying she's going pop, so I'm not sure
I think we should really try to get in touch with her and convince her to do like a Leslie Gore-esque album.
That would be so cool. I fucking love her.
She honestly would do great at that.
Yeah. We're just going to bust Phil Spector out of prison.
Yeah.
Get to see together. Actually, that might be a bad idea. Anyways, yeah.
I don't know, worth it.
The closer it gets, though, I'm so nervous. I'm so excited about the album. And like re-listening to this, because I hadn't really listened to Red for a couple months. Like, I'd probably listen to it here and there, but just while doing this podcast, I'd really been focused on whatever we were going to be listening to that week. And going back to this, it's like, it is like just listening to it carefully. It's like, it's so different and like, but still the same. And I don't know, we'll see. Anyways, all right. So we're done. Good job, everybody. Lee, thank you for
joining.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
That was fun. I was really excited to do this one because I knew we would all have really different opinions. We would all hate different songs and love different songs. It's too bad Lee and I are getting divorced now. But,
yeah.
But
gotta
whatever.
say, it was worth it.
I know, I agree.
Oh my
goodness, I don't regret anything.
I feel so terrible. All right.
Bye, Mike.
Bye, Mike.
I will come up with something snappy to say at the end here. Okay, we'll just say goodbye. Goodbye.
No, snap, Mike, snap.